Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more of the Thaumaturge. But before we begin, I'd like to point out something. Yesterday, when I was searching for relevant images for YouTube thumbnails, and no, I didn't, I just did an image search game the Thaumaturge, right? I suffered an unpleasant reminder that such searches will eventually include other people's YouTube thumbnails. And when, rather early on in my search, the first YouTube thumbnail I stumbled across was entitled Rasputin Tutorial Final Boss Fight the Thaumaturge, I thought, you absolute fucker. And now this gameplay becomes significantly less blind than it originally was. That pisses me off a bit, but oh well. It hasn't even been out that long. Only a few weeks as far as I know. But no, people want to go and get all the clickbait and go, oh, look at me, I'm a fucking massive ego wanker twat. They can fuck off. Right, so now that I've upset all of you by letting you know about the end of the game, it's not about what the end is, but how. Because the problem with historic fiction is that it's very easy for the author to egotistically decide that their character is more important than the historic event that occurs within the story. One of the best ways to write historic fiction that includes a historic event is to have it occur in the background as part of the world, rather than the character needing to be pivotal in that moment. Now, I have not gone and checked the names of the 4 men who assassinated Rasputin, and if one of them was called Wiktor Szulski, that would make a lot of sense, right? However, it would be nice if that final confrontation does not need to be fatal, and given how incredibly durable and tenacious Rasputin was, I can see why they would set that up to be a massive boss fight with many stages or layers, and he would have an absolute huge amount of health. Godly amount, in fact. But it would be nice if, rather than being just a fight to the death, it might be a fight that could strip him of his powers and render him vulnerable to the assassination later on, that sort of sets up the events. It seems we're liable to meet Tsar Nicholas II as well, so it may play very heavily into that story. In which case, why would Rasputin help us so early on? Does he change later on in the game's story? Was he building us up so he could tear us down? I don't know, right? And that gives us some room for enjoyment. Now, they want us to accuse the wise woman of predicating upon the villagers. I don't want to do that, because that doesn't feel like the right thing to do. So we're going to go to the forest clearing instead.
Again.
This time it's a matter of life and death.
Is it?
How is your search going?
Almost finished. I know who's attracting the Bukavach.
Can you reveal that secret?
It's Luca. It has to be Luca.
Do you still want to catch that Salutor?
Yes, absolutely.
Despite the risk?
I hope I can persuade you to come with me.
That's an enormous favor you're asking me. I hope you'll be able to return it.
I give my word.
Did you hear? We're going to see Luca Bogosian.
It's also entirely possible that Rasputin realizes we are being irresponsible and dangerous and tries to stop us. Not every antagonist is evil. Now then, we should search just in case anything pops up. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I need to activate the perception mode to detect items, because activating it increases the speed at which they are detected, but they may begin to tingle with energy. Oh, there might be something in the fire there. No. He's angry, he's got an axe.
I'm not here to fight.
Luca!
You shouldn't have threatened my wife.
Why did you do this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the one who brought the Salutor here. The spirit that you all say arrived in the village after Vasily's death. The Salutor is what's making fear consume you all and making you hot-headed. And it's because of your flaw, which has been within you since the murder took place.
A murder might just be about to take place.
Victor, you're
Cut off
approaching
his
this
head.
wrong.
What?
Tear off his head before he opens his mouth again!
Ah.
Unless you're the one that killed him.
And I'd do it again if I could. Get out of here!
Here you are, Thaumaturge. Vesna's flaw is mine, and you're mine.
Damn it, I was about to say, here it is. Oh, here we go. Difficulty level. Which we now get to select, apparently. Story. Combat is easier. This mode is for those who wish to focus on the story. Balanced. He's holding a gun instead of a book. Combat is challenging while allowing for a lot of freedom. And challenge! The combat is challenging. To win, you must plan your actions carefully. He doesn't even have a gun, he's just got his fists up. We'll stick on balanced for now. It's the intended gameplay experience. Let's see how it goes. And will our spirit help us? And who is that? Fighting wild salutors. To defeat a wild salutor, you must get rid of the shadows that protect him. Vanquishing the shadows will weaken him, but the weaker he is, the more fiercely he will fight back. The bar tells you when the wild salutor sends more enemies against you. Okay. So when he sends more, will that weaken his attacks again? Okay. So at this point, he's going to Doom. Suffering -5 receives damage to the end of every round. So I'm not even attacking him, I'm just attacking the summoned creatures. Okay. And I'd like to point out that while it's not visible in this video at all, unless I go show you at some point, the ancestral noble spirit is now behind Victor on the main menu as he peruses his book. So, quick attack has a chance of interrupting, but does that have a chance of interrupting him? And if we go with the bloody penance, sure. Yeah, you punch that ghost spirit, because that's really going to help. You know what? Punch him again in case it breaks his flow. There's that dooming. Bukovac has caused you to enter the suffering state. States can have a benign or potentially deadly effect. Read their descriptions carefully and don't get caught off guard. Not a lot I can do about it, but hey. How do I read the... Right. Receives 2 damage at the end of every round. The effect stacks 4 times. So for 4 rounds, then if he does it again... He is indeed doing it again. So we'll want to tie into our healing skill at some point, but not quite yet. So if we just go heavy and a light. So there we go again. Now more suffering. We don't want to deal damage. We do want to heal damage. If we deal damage, we won't get our healing attack off. And the healing attack has diminishing returns. Great! Oh! And that's for wife. Not sure who this is. Okay. So... $20 and $20... Oh, she's got way more. Okay, we go over here. Go diversion. Bloody penance. Then we go concussion. And then on her, the healing attack, I think. Were we interrupted? No, we have this coming, so for her... Big, heavy... No, try for an interrupt. Oh, shit! Well, I messed up. So, over here, concussion. Straight up 24 damage. Then over here, eerie intoxication, 13 healing. Yeah, we need that. Might as well hit her over diversion as well. We definitely need more healing abilities. Okay, so... Go for a quick interrupt and another heal for 9. I'm there to check where I placed that upgrade, the interrupt upgrade. Vehemence as a flaw. Interesting.
You lose. You're going crazy again, you blind fool.
A little faith, Thaumaturge. Focus on what's true. My voice is true. I am the truth, you see. Look.
You defeat Bukovac the shouldn't that be you have defeated or your defeat of? You defeat Bukovac, the deed dimension Salutor, but you cannot tame him on your own. Rasputin comes to your help. The untamed Salutor won't obey your orders, stops you from developing, and weakens your perception. Fortunately, Rasputin soothed his anger. You achieved the unachievable.
Unbelievable.
How do you feel? Are you all right?
Well, I don't think I'm hallucinating, but that means I'm currently facing a crowd of furious lumberjacks with axes, so I'd say I've been better.
What? What? I'm telling the truth. I do it again. None of you understand anything. It's because of this magician. It's his fault.
The magician didn't kill Vasily. He didn't bring the evil here. You're a witch! To the stake with her! To the stake!
And you... why are you just standing there? Are you just letting them do this? Fine. I'll handle it myself. I did it before, and I can do it now.
What have you done?
She always believes no one helps
You don't
her.
need to see this.
Prevent Luca from making a rash decision. Heart 2. Force Desna to flee. Remind Luca of the proof that he loves Vesna. Let's do that. The thing is, this option would always be available. Oh no, we had to uncover knowledge for this. These require... So, are these better, stronger decisions because they require dimensions? Or is this stronger because it requires knowledge?
Think, Luca. Your feelings for Vesna are still true, I know that. Hear out her reasons before you do anything.
Okay. You two better not come back to the village! As if we wanted to.
Where will they go? Apparently we now need... Oh, we're back at the train station, are we? And there's our wagon friend. Okay. We got another point. Deed has indeed unlocked, so we should go towards that. But whacking a point here in heart, in mind, is also a good idea. And available upgrades. Relaxation. Restores focus. Old wound. Oh. Reduces focus by 1 additional point if the enemy is in the suffering state. This applies the suffering state. So put relaxation on there. It belongs to Vesna, a simple peasant girl from Transcaucasia who killed her father in retaliation for his cruelty. Bukovac follows this flaw. Increases the deed dimensions force by 1. And now we have 2 spirits at our disposal. And that is indeed enhanced in the deed aspect. Okay. We should probably restore this. Salutor tamed thanks to Rasputin's help. Yeah, I think they might want us to grab these quickly, narratively. I also suspect now we don't get to speak to the old woman about the things we never learned. Edge of the map? Edge of the map, okay. Hey you. Excuse me, sir, do you happen to know when the train arrives? Usually it's no more than an hour late.
Excuse me, sir? Do you happen to know when the train arrives? The postmaster said it's usually no more than an hour late, so it should be here any moment. I got a tougher question for you.
He sounds American.
Pardon?
Will this train get me close to Albuquerque?
I'm afraid that's an ocean away, and even to the ocean you've got a ways to go.
Thank you. Ever since I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, I can't get my bearings. Things I've seen, sir. Places I've been. I just can't get to Albuquerque.
Is this supposed to be some kind of joke I'm not familiar with? Let's go in and send our telegram. I hope there aren't a lot more of I hope there are not many more silly jokes like that, because it just did not make sense.
I wanted to send 2 telegrams, one to Warsaw and one to Paris.
Mr. Szulski, I was meant to send for you when the driver came to get the mail.
Uh-oh. We have a reply.
My condolences about your father.
Glad we didn't agitate him.
Do you still want to send something?
I probably should, but no.
Did you come to say goodbye to me?
More like to share my fear. Your condition yesterday, after the fight with that Bukovac, it troubled me. I don't think my treatments are having a long-lasting effect.
He
And
may.
you don't look the best. Do you feel all right?
He may need to accompany us long term. Oh, I'll tell him. It may explain my current appearance.
I've just heard that my father is dead.
My condolences.
After your treatment, when I was hallucinating, I saw him. I heard his voice for the first time in years. I'm sure it was him. A strange feeling.
Maybe he came to say goodbye. Maybe it was his last chance to speak to you. A prophecy.
I hope not.
What do you intend to do now?
I was going to send 2 telegrams. I'm not sure which of these. I should go to Warsaw, see my sister, my family. This feels like running away.
I have to bury my father in Warsaw. What about you?
Thanks to you. I don't think I have anything else to do here. I had a little time to think about what I saw in your mind. Tell me, Wiktor, have you ever seen a human skull cracked open on the cobblestones?
What an interesting question. I don't know. I don't believe so.
I haven't.
I have. The skull of Franz Ferdinand himself, with his brain spilling out onto the sidewalk.
Wait, Grand Duke Ferdinand?
I also saw the white steps in Odessa running with blood. A battlefield blanketed in lethal
I
fog,
thought he was shot.
with faceless beings emerging from it.
Ah, visions.
This hasn't happened yet, but I saw it as clearly as I see you now. Thanks to you, I know that I can stop it. I know that I am part of history, and I can change it. Even at the cost of scorn, contempt, or my life. You promised me a favor, so Warsaw sounds perfect.
Oh, I'm going to buy him a train ticket? Yeah, I did wonder if he'd become more of a constant companion. Which does make him feel more like Dr. Watson. Interesting. All aboard for Toyland, or rather the Thaumaturge. I believe we've finally ended the prequel, or prologue. Incredible! A sewage system! Warsaw enters the 20th century with a modern-day cesspool of not on the screen long enough to read. Well, here we are. I don't like the radiating pattern on the floor. It feels like they never finish the circles. Oh, this isn't good. This might not be entirely in the physical realm. it's clearly not. Sound of flames. Interesting. If we go home, it all comes crashing down. A warning, perhaps.
Warsaw! 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 Last stop, Warsaw. Time to wake up.
It's clouding over.
It would seem we're here.
Weather is like my mood.
Or near enough.
Aside from the circumstances of the funeral bringing you back, you hadn't thought of ever returning here?
Read to him what the war papers say about Warsaw. Save it under no circumstance, not under circumstances like these. Or tell him what you think of Warsaw. Yeah, let's go with that.
I hate this city. It always makes me think of the stench of vodka, sweat, and urine. Corruption, poverty, and trust me, no justice but street justice.
I'm sure something must have changed since you left.
But probably not for the better.
What about the people? Those close to you? You'll never miss them?
Victor's very cynical.
I definitely didn't expect I'd be coming to my father's funeral so early.
I've noticed you two had certain differences in your views on life.
Indeed.
Yes, especially on my life. But admittedly, that's not a very exciting discovery. Is that all you've learned about me on our journey?
You drool in your sleep. Anything in there about Warsaw?
In my sleep or in the papers? Give him a brief overview of the news, summarize the headlines only. No. He wants to know.
Workers are striking. They want to take advantage of the Tsar's visit to Warsaw. The protests are being violently suppressed. Last week, around a dozen people were killed. Polish Socialist Party militants attacked a train. They stole money, bonds, and explosive materials. They're also suspected of robbing a transport of Dutch pomade. The socialists in Warsaw must look pretty sharp then. Further along, we've got murders, muggings, and poverty.
The newspapers feed on sensation. Remember that in darkness, even a small spark can be seen clearly. Even I can feel hope from all the people riding with us. Can't you?
Even without my powers, I can tell that hope is bringing people here from all three petitions. Miners, steelworkers, governesses, maids, speculators, thieves. I've forgotten to read a few of our fellow passengers' possessions, and I know that hope can have many faces.
Will you share that knowledge with me?
Of course.
There's a terrified woman riding with us. She's either running away or in hiding. I think that gentleman is smuggling something, because excitement is all mixed up with guilt inside him. And this dandy, he's going whoring.
If there's something I've learned in life, Victor, it's never to neglect the horse.
Like Mary Magdalene.
Warsaw, end of the line. Welcome to Warsaw.
I think the time's come to ask where you plan to stay.
I'll let you know when I come up with something.
Right. So we are going for a very sort of Holmesian dialogue style here. A sort of feel to the narrative. Our protagonist still looks weary. Now, what was that he sensed? Was it the man getting off the train behind him? Perhaps so. For the whole crowd, there must be a great many emotions to sense. Go to your father's funeral Powazki Cemetery. Entry added 7. Shrodomishke. Or Shrodomishke. Rhythm permeates every brick here, every cobblestone, every rail. The racket of steam engine pistons, of hammers working on the soaring buildings, the frenetic heartbeats, the stomp of marching protesters. The dynamics of progress and change are overwhelming, intoxicating and emboldening. I can hear the ripple of dissent move and more clearly. The rhythmic pulse loosens the rivets holding bilingual signboards together and unties corset knots. In this place you live in here, in this place you live in and here and now. In this place you live in the here and now because the past reeks of decay and it's too terrifying to think of what the future holds. We also have an entry on Warsaw in 1905. Oh, okay, so we're, 9 years away from the First World War then? Warsaw is neither close nor distant to me. It is the city of my childhood, early youth, my first experiences, those thaumaturgical and otherwise. When I left, I didn't miss it. I did miss my home, my sister, my friend, but the city meant only as much as my loved ones who were there. It was defined by their presence. I didn't really cherish my memories of Warsaw, but I remembered it differently. I knew where they sold the best candies, which way home was the fastest. Now I feel like I don't know the city at all. It's still a melting pot where emotions simmer, pushing the town's matter to its limits. It all still rests in anticipation of change, an eruption, an action, but it is different. I am different. I will have to relearn my way around here all over again. Now, what one you think must be this one on Transcaucasia? Okay, so we can cycle through them like some kind of console peasant without a brain. Got it. So we have these personal entries. Stanislav Szulski, my father and a thaumaturge. Even my mother was sick of him after a few years of marriage, so she left. I was the only one to inherit his powers, but it didn't bring us any closer. When my powers were revealed, he sent me to Paris. That's something I will never forgive him for. Father is dead. I know I should feel sorry, but I haven't seen him for 15 years, and I'd hoped it would stay that way. And yet he's the reason I am coming back to Warsaw. If anyone finds this, please send it to Wiktor Szulski. People lose all sorts of things. Anything can happen. It feels odd to write about oneself. I was born a thaumaturge on the 22nd of September 1875 in Warsaw, under the Tsar's rule. 15 years ago I made a pact with my first Salutor, Upir. Then, with his help, I tried to help my friend. It didn't work out. My father was furious. He sent me to my mother, to Paris. Then I did a lot of stupid things, and I almost lost my powers and my connection to Upir. Now here I am, broken, lonely. My only hope is a travelling mystic. Such is life. Rasputin, did he change anything in me? Fix anything? I don't know how his power works. It's completely different from Thaumaturge. Upir is a... You can't be different than something unless you're an American who doesn't talk properly. Upir is at my service again. You can be different to something. You can be different from something. You can't be different than something. I would rather this than that. Yes. Yeah, God, sometimes the standard of writing these days. It feels good to have him back. This is the first time I've been able to take over somebody's flaw completely. Now I will always carry it in me, and with Rasputin's help, I managed to snare a new Salutor, Bukovac. I am bursting with pride. What now? The world is my oyster. The world must wait. My father is dead. I am going back to Warsaw. To Lygia. My dear sister Lygia, the only person I truly miss while I'm away. We're twins. Really, she looks a lot younger than you. So there's always been a special bond between us. I haven't seen her for years. Currently, I only know her from the letters we exchange. And her latest message, Father is dead. Lygia needs me. I must go back to Warsaw. Do we, in fact, have a copy of that message? Yes, we do, and we should probably... We can't interact with it in any way here. It's maybe for the best. Is fair. Okay, the crowd seems to have cleared a little. Just checking in case anything stands out. Yes, I see the chains. And we have another point. We've lost a family member. We're going to a funeral. Heart seems the most appropriate. Oh, we don't get to spend a point there. Hello? Do we get that back? Yes, we do. Okay, so we can go straight to action, reaction, inflicts damage, additional skill. Okay. So these will unlock regardless of whether we've progressed to them. And there are 4 more here, so they're not all going to appear behind us in battle. I presume we'll have to summon one or the other in combat. This would feed the deed, mind and word. I don't know how soon we're going to get these, so 6% chance to sort of slowing the enemy's actions. Mental defense makes you lose focus instead of taking damage with a 4-to-1 ratio. That seems very interesting. For now, let's develop this, and then we'll want to pick up these. At some point, I may want to specialize in one particular branch. Let's see. Adrenaline rush. Inflict increases damage. Obvious target. Okay, so marking a target. Third principle, bond of speed. The Salutor's next action will be 1 round faster. Increases inflicted damage. Whereas here we have a healing ability for this Salutor. I see, it puts a suffering state on people, then replenishes a health based on how many enemies are suffering. Debilitating wound, so a debuff. Oh, damage over time, got it. Sabotage, interrupts an enemy's planned action if the enemy is in the suffering state. This really needs to be inflicting suffering a lot. And placement. Bloody Debt, reduces damage, receives damage in the last round of the state's duration. Okay, so it's a delayed damage, not a damage over time. Got it. Okay. Don't stand around. Keep walking. Is he talking to me?
When people unite, empires fall.
Our very Tower of Babel. All sorts come here these days. Oh, it's a woman. I never catch a streetcar. They're just never available. Wait, you're going to set someone up? So many voices in the crowd, and down the stairs we go. And we got experience for just that. So people like the sewers, and there's news. Or a book. The Daily Courier. The latest news. The Chief of Police in the city of Warsaw hereby informs the general public that, in connection with their Majesty's visit, the number of units patrolling the streets on this day will be doubled. In particular, constables will look out for the groups of troublemakers that have been gathering more and more recently in their major thoroughfares to protest against thaumaturges and demand that His Majesty officially condemn thaumaturges as charlatans and a menace to humanity. Yesterday, near Rimarska Street, the police arrested 15 people who protested loudly and disrupted traffic, demanding that thaumaturgy be punishable by death. The protesters were intoxicated and started a fight with the police until dispatched on the scene. Dispatched, as in killed, dispatched would suggest sending them away, but dispatched on the scene could mean something far more sinister. Okay, you want me to go over there again, which means there might be something over here to look at. To all police station chiefs of Warsaw, beware of Aborishi Niedzik, leader of the Shivs gang, recently seen near Wierzbowa Street. We may have to duff him up at some point soon. Description: hair blonde, eyes blue, face round. That is not a round face. Stature sizable. Distinctive marks: dark circles under his eyes, signifying exceptional anger. He is a thief and murderer, particularly active in the Środomieście area. Whoever notifies the authorities of his whereabouts or contributes to his apprehension shall be rewarded. We may indeed do that. Anti-thaumaturge leaflets. Citizen! Beware of thaumaturges who act in secret, plotting to bring down the economy and thus take complete control over our society. Let us protect our children from those degenerates waiting for the right moment to take control of the most innocent minds and souls. Let us get rid of these parasites. Recent research shows that thaumaturge brains are burned out from thoughts that go against nature, hence they cannot be treated equally to normal people. Let us act now, before it is too late. So thaumaturgy is public knowledge in this setting. I didn't like how openly Wiktor talked about it in the presence of simple peasant folk. Now it seems they may be rather well informed on the matter. The Country, weekly magazine. Change of Warsaw's Governor-General. Today the Supreme Order of August 28th was announced. The Governor-General of Warsaw, Commander of the Warsaw Military District, Adjutant General Maximovich, will be released from his current duties while retaining the title of Adjutant General. He will be replaced by his second-in-command, Adjutant General Scallon. Or Scarlon, possibly. Well, 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 the plot thickens. But what can we... there's something more over there. Is there something over here that we can learn of? Not much. Husbands, bachelors, don't be dumb, you know the courier is the best. Ah, he's a newspaper seller. I believe we've already seen a copy. And this man also can never manage to get a streetcar. Is it named Desire? Why the fuck is that even such a stupid title? I don't know. But let us continue our search. Revolutionary leaflets. Brothers, the 11-hour workdays are killing us. Let's follow the example of the workers in German and English factories and fight to reduce them to 9 working hours. Join the strike. Put down your tools and join the fight for our future. There's a lot of revolutionary feeling in these parts. It's mid-September, all my bribe money's gone. Ah yes, this is Eastern Europe. Bribery is a way of life. You could almost say it's institutionalized. Look, there's something over here and I'm going to go and interact with it. Don't run to the bar, sir. You do. A menu. Kastelanska restaurant menu. Borscht or broth, fruit soup. Pottage with crayfish, goose and jelly, young turkey, romaine lettuce, pan-seared saffron milk cups, cucumber salad, compote, cream with chocolate, pears a la Otero, cup of green gages, whatever a green gauge is, mocha, black coffee. Blech. Coffee's very popular in Eastern Europe at this time. Local lager, English porter, or port, portioned caviar and snacks. Okay, well, it would seem there's nothing too special here. But it did help us learn of the environment, and I wonder if we are to be accosted when we attempt to depart from this area. The city that does not forget.
Why such a crowd?
The circus has come to town.
These are troubled times. Brothers turn against brothers. Russia has had enough bloodshed. The violence must stop. When socialists attempt to divide Russia and her subject nations, to dent the sword that smote the enemy at Grunwald, this demands my decisive action. Thus, by my grace, I hereby appoint as Governor General of Warsaw, Georgi Antonovich Skowon.
A butcher.
So I was correct on Scallon. Oh no, I said Scallon, didn't I? So close enough. Well, this is a kind of Russian, Georgian, Polish story. Yeah, we ask. We're in a crowd, we disrespect the scene going on in front of us and just ask the local person.
Not a popular guy, I presume.
I see you ain't from here. That swine keeps a photo album of all the folks he's had shot at the Citadel.
Before and after execution.
Warsaw! The time for leniency and indulgence is over. From the moment this office is bestowed on me, no forces hostile to the subjects of Greater Russia will have any further right to exist. None! Whether it be brutal socialist subversives, communists, Jews, or other satanic provocators.
He sure knows how to unite a crowd.
His thoughts are those of the time.
Pardon me. Are you Polish?
Yes, apparently.
Yes, I feel Polish. My name's Wiktor.
Wanda.
This is Russia here. Like it or not. Warsaw. Время террора закончилось.
Иди нахуй!
My first decision as Governor General
Is
of
to execute
Warsaw.
that man.
Arrestować.
Yeah. And they're not just going to tap him on the shoulder lightly either, they're going to fuck him up with that truncheon.
Great heroes in their sense of timing. Of course, now they're the first ones in the fight.
She sounds American as well.
Obladanie, Polyaki. We want that rebel. The loudmouth.
Damn.
What happened?
Be a gentleman. Please kneel and tie my shoe.
What the fuck is she going to do? This is a distraction. We don't want to go too strong down the pride path. It'll fuck us up in the long term and be our downfall.
I didn't dare suggest it myself.
What's she going to do? Throw something, or he's going to pick up a stone and throw it? What did she drop on the ground?
Can I ask you a tiny favor? The Russians can't find out about this.
Yeah, she is
The
going heavy
military
American.
is just looking for an excuse to suppress the crowd, and these workers are dreaming of thrashing a Russian gendarme.
Either one of you confesses to disturbing the peace, or всех забирай. We'll take you all in.
You can't handle all of us.
Can you get us out of here?
Yeah, we just walk. Well, what are you implying, milady? So, is there going to be a threat about American spies infiltrating this society? Because that really seems to be the way it's going.
I think I'm open to any kind of suggestion.
With a book like that, I'd find out what would convince one of these bastards to let us go. Or I'd take on that self-appointed leader of the proletariat.
Interesting strategy.
Who are you, precisely?
Who are you, really?
A damsel in distress.
Those don't usually hide ammunition in their stockings.
Can I explain it to you another time?
There's no point threatening people, although there is a lot of that in Russian literature from this period, and shortly
I'm going
after.
to take a look around.
Request from a girl in trouble, also known as a ginger minger with an American accent. And bullets. Okay. What's this? Bullets that fell from under the woman's dress, scattered on the pavement, which she asked me to pick up. Why are they still there? Small bullets carry big emotions. Hope, because they are meant to benefit the cause. Fear, which is, in these difficult times, makes its way to even the hardest of hearts. And determination, the companion of courage, without which it would be impossible to face reality. Each bullet was hidden in the nooks and crannies of the undergarments with care and precision, just like the previous time and the time before that. This is nothing new for the person who took the risk. Trace certain Wanda. Let's see what else we can pick up on. A sergeant and a corporal, but there's more here. Do we have to walk around it? Let's see what we can find that might... No, we're not allowed around. Okay. What is here? There's something. Aha! A barrier? A police barrier, meant to help with keeping order during the rally. The seemingly ordinary barrier carries the memory of a hand whose firm grip represents the determination of the one who controls it. It was the gendarme commander who set up the barrier, carrying in his heart a desire to return to the warmth of his home. All he needed was a scapegoat. So they just want to arrest someone quickly and get out of here. Got it.
Do you think it's a good idea to stir people up and send them to face bullets and bayonets?
What do you want then? My whole life on my knees? Kissing Ruski's ass?
Do you really want people to die here?
Do you realize blood is about to be spilled? And that it might be mine?
Fuck off!
Wow, man, that was rubbish. Okay. Who's the superior here? He's the one counting things on his fingers. Corporal, I think, is higher than a sergeant.
Pardon me, gentlemen.
The crowd has received the order. For now, zero response.
We'll give them a moment. To arrest them all, book them, interrogate them. Gospodi will be home in November.
Fucking hell, November. Gendarme readiness. The gendarmes are ready... They're not French, are ready to pacify the crowd. They won't hesitate to arrest those who draw their attention. Were the police in this part of the world call the gendarme at this time? That's interesting. Well, we get a conclusion, and we only ever seem to have one available to choose from. So this is not like Game Deck, where you will get multiple conclusions to choose from, but all further the story in different ways. The sergeant wants to call it a day and go home as fast as possible. A manhunt entails a lot of work that he'd rather avoid. With a little nudge, he might settle for taking in the agitators and letting the rest go. The workers' leader is perfect for the role.
Gentlemen, please forgive me. Maybe there's a faster way to get this situation resolved.
Back off, Poliak, or we'll start shooting. Paniatno, scrum. Dawaj.
Hand wander over to them. Make the sergeant accuse the worker. Invoke your last name. It not only draws on your Floor of Pride's level, but will also feed it even more. Goad the officers into starting a fight, so that'll make the crowd get even more violent. Is this damage limitation here? It feels evil. Is he a scapegoat, or we... he's pretty fucked if he does get arrested, but... he's antagonizing the authorities, he's probably going to get killed or something anyway.
Достаточно. Should we go in and capture the worker who's mouthing off and let the rest go?
Da, Sierżant. We can use anyone as an example.
Szagom marsz!
Goodbye.
You're welcome.
I wanted to thank you at our next meeting. We could use someone like you.
We? Meaning the people you were carrying ammunition for and who got you Dutch pomade for your hair.
You haven't just got pretty eyes, you know how to use them. Maybe you'll find time one day for some jam donuts at Burke Rotblitz's?
In other words, she's telling us where to meet her next. Fearless Vonda, the smuggler of bullets, proposed a meeting at the Burke Rotblitz's. The woman I met during the kettling incident, a word that was only very recently created, was smuggling bullets in the nooks and crannies of her undergarments. Clearly it wasn't the first time she'd done that. Unfortunately this time, the garter didn't hold and the bullets fell onto the pavement. Maybe fate will have us cross paths again and we'll meet at Burke Rotblitz's for jam donuts. At least they spelt donuts correctly. We still have a funeral to get to. And we are... okay. We don't have a clue. Okay, so that's blocked off. This also blocked off. We are incredibly restricted in our mobility. I'm feeling that soon I should wrap the episode up. It's probably gone on for a decent length of time. Let's at least pass under this arch and out onto the pavement here. There we are. Yep, I reckon I'm going to end it here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and it's probably shorter than the last episode. And I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. But for now, I'll say bye-bye, everybody. Cheerio.